So I got to get into another section. This week is Shakur Stevenson versus Zapeda, and seeing the fact that it's fitting because you got the WBC International belt, right? And it's going to
Mm.
lead to other belts to get to that belt. But seeing that it is your sanctioning body that you're competing in and that the weight that you're in, how do you think that fight plays out between Shakur and Zapeda?
I've been seeing rumors about it too, about Turkey talking about something he's gonna shrink the ring too. So I feel like the ring don't shrink. I feel like Shakur he should pitch a shutout. He should outbox William Zapata. I know William he's gonna come forward, he's gonna throw a lot of punches, but I favor Shakur for that fight.
What if the ring does shrink? I guess like because I can't imagine what.
If the rings do shake, cause I think the picture I seen is like it shrinks round one, round four, round eight, and then round 12 or something like that. But I feel like Shakur with his boxing IQ, I feel like he should still outbox him. But if the ring do shrink, I feel like he's gonna be in for a long night.
Do you think at that point, if we're in like the 10th round and it's shrunk to its kind
Mhm.
of, I don't know how small it's like, is it like a phone booth, like a tire foot in?
I'm
Like
not sure. I really don't know. Judging off the picture, I can't tell for real.
if
But I feel as though the later rounds is gonna for sure get to him in the shrunken ring.
at that point, if it's that small, Zapata
Yeah.
has a higher chance of beating Shakur, even if Shakur had an advantage. Like, could he?
I, I wouldn't say a higher chance because even with that, Jahai Tucker and Lorenzo Truck Simpson when they fought, that was a very small ring.
Oh,
And
yeah, tidy.
yeah,
I forgot.
that
Yeah.
was a very small ring, and Jahai he made the ring look big. So it's
hmm
a possibility for Shakur to still do the same thing. But I feel like with Williams Zapata and the way he fight and his game plan on what he's gonna do coming this Saturday, I feel like it's gonna work for a smaller ring.
Do you? I guess in your sense, in your style, right? Or what would you do? Like if you were in a situation like, all right, Shamar, I'm about to pay you $10 million. You got to fight the Argentinian dude that fought Mark Castro. We're about to shrink the ring every
Mhm.
other round or so. Game plan. Is part of it kind of, all right, I'm gonna have to attack the body, slow him down so when the later round comes, like
For sure. That would for sure be the game plan. I'll be on the outside, work his body, but I feel like with a smaller ring and me being how tall I am and with my arm reach, I feel like everybody's gonna want to try to come forward on me. Everybody's
mhm.
gonna try to close that distance. But the thing is with me, when you try to close the distance, I feel like well, I don't even feel like I know I have the firepower to back anybody off me and second guess them from coming in forward.
Mhm. Ultimately, for a person that likes to, I guess, fight on the outside typically, but it's very important to focus on fighting on the inside in cases that if they do come close, right? So, what would you say if someone is in your face all day, right? Not giving your particular game plan, but like what is something that you need to do and you must do, like Shakur needs to do if Zepeda's in his face all day? Like he's past the jab, he's actually in range of actually hitting, Shakur or someone's close to hitting you, what do you have to do at that point to get leverage or distance?
You have to get their respect. It's gonna be a time where you're gonna have to sit down and you're gonna have to actually fight and whoever's the biggest dog is gonna come out on top.
As in like power or just like who lands more or just
Power, I feel like it turns into a power thing
mhm,
because it's obviously whoever hits the hardest is obviously not gonna want to be hit no more.
mhm. But could you turn it into something where you hit them more or still you have to have some sort of power to get them off or they're just gonna run you over like on
Me personally, I feel like it's a power thing.
mhm.
Versus a 7-year-old keep hitting you constantly or a 30-year-old punching you constantly, you're obviously going to want to get punched by the 7-year-old, so you're just going to keep coming forward on a 7-year-old.
So if you can't get that respect, then you got to use your feet and get out. All right.
For sure.
And that's probably what we'll see from Shakur that night, right?
For sure.
Awesome. So I have to get your whole entire story, spill, prediction, everything about this, right? It's your division. Um, there was a footage leakage of Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield, right, at Real Boxing Gym, and you've actually sparred both those guys before.
Yes.
And From my understanding, I've heard that you got some sparring in with Floyd Schofield. I don't know if it was exactly around that time, but what was that experience like just working with them?
I believe it was around that time though. I think it was 2020 around COVID. This is when Dev had Dev had all the young amateur people that's coming out turn pro. He did a whole camp before the camp when he came out of surgery for the Gamboa. So it was around that time, but working with both of them, it was good. You see what they're doing now. The young prospects. Well, I can't even say prospects because Abdullah is fighting for a world championship. Um, Floyd, he has the WBA, I believe, the intern belt. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's ranked number two. So it's like they're both doing their thing. Then for me to get that experience at a young age that we was, I believe we was 17, 18 years old. So
Hmm.
it was good.
Yeah. With that leak that came out, right? Did you get a chance to see some of it? I know it's heavily edited in favor of one to show
Yeah.
shots, but I guess if you were able to remove it, clip it, I guess you can kind of make out what that round looked like. So, what did you think about it? And I know sparring at the end of the day.
Mhm. Sparring is sparring for sure. It's a lot of people who are good at sparring. I could put it like that, and then don't look good in the gym. But off the video, if they say they only did one round, I'm not sure what they did. I wasn't in the gym physically when they sparred. I remember sparring Floyd. I don't know if I sparred him before or was it after. I'm not sure around that time. But I feel like through the video, it was for sure one sided. It was a good round from Medulla.
Hmm.
But if there was other rounds, I feel as though they should post the whole footage and let everybody be the judge of it.
Yeah, I know this is conflicted on either it's a round, one side says it's like four or six or I don't know. But at that point, all the fans obviously now want to see those two fight. So
You know?
I know that sparring was then and everyone's improved, and yourself included, because this could be an opponent that you may face down the line. Even especially if one wins a world title, right? That's probably who you probably want to be able to fight. But in that sense, a lot of people seem like they favored Mason at a point, and then it switched to Floyd, and then it's like kind of like what have you done for me lately, right?
Mhm.
And then Floyd knocks out Tevin, Abdullah looks like this, and then the sparring comes out. So it's been going back and forth. So do you have someone in mind that would probably favor as the winner if they faced each other?
Like I said, they're both young. It's a lot of talent in there. That's a fight I just have to see. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. Styles make fights, and I don't know. It's a fight I'd like to see in the future.
I know people have seen both those guys been dropped in their previous fights before, but it's boxing that happens. Is that a fight that you see that goes the distance because they're both kind of considered,
No,
knockout artists?
no, I don't see that fight going the distance. I feel like somebody would get stopped.
Brutally, like Tevin Farmer or
Nah,
broken down, like I'm
I
no
feel like
disrespect to Tevin. It was just it was.
I feel like it'll be a broken down. I wouldn't feel like it'll be an annihilation like what Floyd did to Tevin.
Mhm. Would you style wise, right? Is it like a Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford? Not saying who wins, but just one guy likes to keep it in range, counter on the offense, while the other guy clearly models himself after like Sean Porter. So, I mean, is there a
Um,
fight in mind that kind of,
I could see that little similarity. I could see Abdullah Mason trying to beat the Crawford, and I could see Floyd trying to beat Sean Porter. I for sure see the similarity in it.
okay, awesome. And then, before I end this topic, is that if there is one of the two, right, which person would you think would be more exciting to fight? Would it be Abdullah Mason or Floyd Schofield? Not saying who's tougher, who's harder, or what's easier, but just is it the trash talking of like that might come from the Kid Austin side, or is it, the Mason side that seems that they like to box and move and show angles?
I would love to fight both, to be honest with you. I love to fight both. But as far as the trash talker side, Abdullah, he's a very humble person. So is Floyd. I know Floyd's dad. Floyd's dad is really gonna be the one that's really doing all the talking.
Hmm.
Floyd, he's just gonna back it up. But I love to fight both. To be honest with you, I feel like a style make fight. My style would be perfect for either or.
Yeah. And if you magically somehow go up through the rankings, get the WBC, Abdullah get the WBO and sticks around, Kid gets the WBA. I mean, hey, I'm gonna be watching you guys from afar. Like, all right, I'm gonna let my hands do this, and I'm just gonna watch like a fan. So, and let the best man win. So, awesome. And then lastly, before I let you go, I have to ask, the big one, all right? Canelo versus Crawford, all right? I'm sure you've been around Crawford a little bit out in Vegas, right? It's probably popped in a
I ran into
couple.
him a couple times.
Yeah. What was your interaction like when you bumped into Terrence? Did he keep you like a noogie or something? Or
Nah, he ain't give me no nuggie.
you know how Terrence is.
Nah, yeah, I know. It's just respectful. We shake each other hands, say what's up.
Mhm.
Just keep it cordial. Nothing too crazy.
Terrence is obviously a guy who likes challenges. He's moving up not just one, skipping one, but another division, jumping to
Mhm.
168 after making his debut at 154 and capturing title. Is it far-fetched to think that Terrence Crawford's capable of beating Canelo Alvarez, the man at that division who's just as great as he is?
I feel as though he can do it. The same way how people thought Canelo was gonna be able to jump up and fight Bivol and beat Bivol. I feel like Canelo can lose to Crawford. Styles do make fights. Don't get me wrong, Canelo, he's a crafty veteran. He been in the ring with a lot of people. And Bud is moving up from 54 to 68. That is a big jump. I feel like the weight could play a part, but styles do make fight, and I feel like Bud do has the tools to neutralize Canelo.
It's kind of hard for me to imagine. I'm not saying that Terrence doesn't have the ability to do it, but I feel like the last time I've seen him do something like that was a Victor Postal fight, who stayed rangy long until Victor made a mistake and he capitalized it. But
Mhm.
most times it seems like Terrence likes to fight, sit down, bully, the opponents. Every once in a while, if they get a good shot, he's gonna want to retaliate. He's an offensive counter. He's fighting all these big guys and kind of muscling them. And so, in this sense, can Crawford just stick to the game plan, if that's the game plan, and box all 12 rounds and make it a boring fight in one direction? Or do you see him wanting to test Canelo's chin and actually fight him?
I feel as though he's gonna stay disciplined only because maybe the weight might be in his head. So I feel like he might stay disciplined. But it is gonna be a time where Canelo chin will get tested. I feel like it's gonna be a time where it's gonna be a fight.
Do you think Crawford's chin's going to be able to take, let's say Canelo lands a clean, like I won't say like a Mir Khan shot because he took a Mir
Mhm.
Khan, but like how he dropped Edgar Berlanga, right? Or Munguia, right? One of those moments is going to happen when they exchange. But when that shot lands, can Crawford stay on his feet and and compete?
I feel as though Crawford's chin has been tested before in previous fights, for
Hmm.
sure. So I feel as though one of those shots from Canelo, it just all depends on how in shape Crawford is and if he's able to keep his legs under him.
Did you get to see Canelo's previous fight with William Skull?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay. A lot of people criticizing that he didn't cut off the ring well.
Mm.
So,
I did hear about that.
with that, if by all means, if Canelo, I guess because you haven't seen the fight, if Canelo can't cut the ring off, right? Is there an alternate way to, I guess, win the fight? Can he lure Crawford into a sneaky counterpunch, or he has to cut off the ring? If not, he's going to lose the fight.
If Crawford's gonna do the game plan where I think would work, I feel as though if Canelo cannot cut the ring off, he's gonna get outboxed all 12 rounds.
Hmm.
I don't think Crawford is just gonna go out there and take a unnecessary gamble if he doesn't have to.
Do you think the fight's going to be somewhat boring in the sense of like low action because Canelo won't be able to get to him?
I don't think the fight will be boring. I feel like it's gonna be action because it's gonna
Hmm.
be like everybody's eyes is gonna be glued because everybody's gonna think Canelo's just gonna come and bully him, be the bigger man and bully him. Everybody just wants to see. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a great fight. I
Hmm.
can't wait for it to happen.
All right. My last question on is, do you think Canelo's defense is underrated? I know everyone expects Canelo to be like a flat-footed, plotting, high guard, counter puncher. But in the sense when Crawford attacks him, do you see moments where Canelo's slipping and is a lot more slick than people give credit, and see Crawford probably missing a lot of shots in the fight?
I feel as though Canelo being the bigger man, I feel like he's probably gonna be in a high guard. He's not gonna
Hmm.
be how he usually used to be on the elusive, slipping, making a man miss. I feel like he's just gonna be a bully and try and come forward.
Yeah. Last minute prediction on the fight, or you need a couple more months and need to see the weigh-in?
I think I need to see the weigh-in, but I do right now. I like Crawford by decision.
Okay. Respect, respect. And at what percentage? Like 50, 50, I mean 51-49, 60-40, 70-30,
Yeah, I think I see a 60-40.
60-40. Okay.
Yeah, I see a
Respect.
split decision.
Awesome. Well, look, Shamar, first and foremost, congratulations on the big win.
Thank you, thank you.
There's a lot of big names in the 135 division, a lot of talented guys, and by all means, when one of those big guys decide to step in the ring with you, even if it's not a big name, but the hardcore boxing fans know it could be anyone from like an Ashton Silver, a Lucas Baldi,
Mhm.
or anybody in the top, 30, 40 in your division. I'm sure everyone will be tuned in. So for the fight fans that's watching this interview, what do you want to tell them, and where can they find you on social media?
I want to say I've been underground, you feel me? I've been keeping my head down, keep grinding. I feel like now that I had the WBC International, I feel like it's a stepping stone and to get into the world titles. My name should be brought up more. A lot of people should know who my name is and what I stand for. So I feel as though the 135 division is on notice and I'm coming to make a statement. And you can follow me on Instagram at Shamar Canal and on Twitter at Real Shamar Canal.